Welcome to RHCSA.GURU. In this lab, you'll learn to secure the SSH server and prevent unauthorized access. You'll learn to install, configure, and secure the OpenSSH server. Now let's begin. Learn to secure the SSH server using its configuration file for safe remote access. In VS Code, click the hamburger icon, go to Terminal, and select New Terminal. This is where you'll run all commands for this lab. For this lab, the OpenSSH server is already installed. If it's missing on your system, install it using yum install OpenSSH server command. Verify that SSH is installed and running by using the command systemctl status sshd. If SSH is active, you'll see an output indicating active or running since, confirming that the SSHD service is running. Here we can see that the service is active. If the SSHD service is not running and shows inactive, start it with systemctl start sshd. To ensure it starts automatically at boot, enable it using systemctl enable sshd command. Now we will create a new user named developer using the user add developer command. This adds the user to the system, allowing SSH access if configured properly. Type the command in terminal and hit enter. Click on check. Task is completed. Now we will assign a password to the developer user. We will assign password 123. Type the command in terminal and press enter. When prompted, enter password 123 to set it or enter any secure password of your choice. Modify the SSH configuration to allow password authentication. Open the SSH config file in a text editor by running vi/etc/ssh/ssd-config. Look for the line that says #password authentication no, and remove hashtag and change no to yes, and after that save the file and exit the editor. Next, we need to modify another SSH configuration file using 6/etc/ssh/ssd-config d/50 Red Hat conf. Open an editor and find the line challenge response authentication no, and change no to yes. Type the command in terminal, and after that press enter. Change no to yes, and after that save the file and exit the editor. To apply the changes, restart the SSH service by running systemctl restart sshd command. This ensures the new configurations take effect. Now that SSH is running, you can connect to your machine using the SSH command. The command is SSH username at IP address. Replace username with the user you want to log in as. Replace IP address with the SSH server's IP. To test locally, open a new terminal tab and run SSH developer at localhost. Type yes. Since you're connecting to an SSH server on the same machine, you'll see a warning message that is, Are you sure you want to continue connecting? Yes or no? Type yes and press enter. When prompted, enter the password, password 123, for the developer user to log in successfully. Now let's enhance the security of the SSH server by modifying its configuration file before making any changes. It's a good practice to create a backup of the original SSHD config file. To do this, switch back to your other terminal and run the command. This ensures you have a backup in case you need to restore the default settings. Next, we'll modify the SSHD config file to enhance SSH security. Open the file using vi/etc/ssh/ssh-config. Once the file is open, navigate to the end using the arrow keys. This ensures the SSH server sends a keep alive message every 15 seconds and disconnects inactive sessions after 30 seconds. If the server doesn't receive a response within 15 seconds, it will automatically close the session. We will place these settings at the end of the file. If the directive exists but are commented out, remove hashtag and update their values. We will copy the command and paste it in terminal. For navigating to the end, use arrow keys. Press O to enter insert mode. Save and exit by pressing ESC. Then type WQ and hit enter. Task completed. Now we will restart the SSH service to apply the changes and check for errors using systemctl restart SSHD command. If the configuration is incorrect, the service won't restart and will display an error message. Simply type the command in terminal and hit enter. Now switch to the previous terminal and log in as developer with increased verbosity to observe logs and debug messages using SSH VVV developer at localhost command. Wait and watch as the client responds to the server's keep alive messages, ensuring the connection remains active. Switch back to the server terminal. To disable root login for SSH, open the SSHD config file using vi/etc/ssh/sshd-config. Type the command in terminal and hit enter. Remove the hashtag and type no in place of prohibit password. Now save and exit by pressing ESC. Then type WQ and hit enter. Our task is completed. To prevent SSH logins with empty passwords, open the SSHD config file using vi/etc/ssh/sshd-config command. Navigate to the end and open insert mode. Here type permit empty passwords no. Type WQ and hit enter. Task completed. To restrict SSH access to only the student user, open the SSH config file using vi/stc/ssh/sshd config command. Navigate to the end and open insert mode. Type allow user student. Restart the SSH service to apply the changes using systemctl restart SSHD command. Type the command in terminal and hit enter. Switch to the other terminal. Type SSH developer at localhost. Permission denied. Now we'll create the student user and set a password by running user@student and in passwd student command. Just type the command in terminal and hit enter. Enter password 123 as password. Task completed. Now try logging in via SSH as the student user with password 123. Type SSH student at localhost in the terminal and click on enter. This time, the login will be successful since the student user is allowed. Click on Check. Task completed. Now to add an extra layer of security, we will change the default SSH port from 22 to higher and use port like 44223. This helps hide the SSH service from common scans. Type vi/etc/ssh/hd config in terminal and hit enter. Type port 4423. Save and exit the file. Task completed. Now we will again restart SSH service to apply the new port setting using systemctl restart sshd. Now switch to the other terminal and try logging in as student using the default SSH command, student user and password 123. We will get a permission denied error because SSH is now running on different port. Type the command in terminal and hit enter. Connection refused. Now to connect successfully, specify the port using the SSH P44223 student at localhost. Now let's set up SSH key-based authentication for the student user. This method is useful for repeated logins or automation tasks. Generated using SSH keygen. Type the command and hit enter. Our public key has been saved in. Task completed. Now use the following command to copy your public key to the server. Type SSH copy ID P44223 student at localhost in terminal and hit enter. This adds your key to the server's authorized keys file. Type the student user's password. Now we will switch to the other terminal and connect again using SSH P44223 student to localhost command. Type the command in terminal and hit enter. This time you won't be asked for password. SSH logs you in directly using key pair. Task completed. Well done. The SSH lab is now complete. Go ahead and mark it as done.